and this is Revelation part 12. Al-INZAL and TANZIL. The study of the two terms Al-INZAL and TANZIL will lead to a correct understanding of Allah's revelation. Our study is based on the principles of interpretation outlined and on the crucial premise that we do not accept the traditional notion of synonymity between the two terms. We reject the idea that both describe the process of Quran's coming down indiscriminately as revelation to the Prophet Muhammad. We believe instead that both terms support our thesis of the division of the text into many variant sections that differ in theme and status, at the center of which is the division between verses of prophethood and verses of messengerhood, which according to our analysts have been revealed in different ways. Reference to both words in the book will demonstrate the considerable extent to which the second form of the verb nazzala in al-tanzil differs semantically from the fourth verb anzala in al-inzal. Verses that use anzala, noun inzal, and we have sent down anzalna iron, hadid, verse 25. Also, we have sent it down anzalnahu, as in Arabic Quran, Yusuf 2. Also, we have sent down anzalna, pure water from the skies, Furqan verse 48. Verses that use nazzala, noun, tanzil. It is we who have sent down nazzalna, the Quran, to you by stages, Insan verse 23. Also, the revelation of the book, Tanzil al-Kitab, is from God, the exalted in power, full of wisdom, Jathiyah verse 2. All the translations that were consulted keep the spatial connotation of coming down from heaven, which is, as in it will become clear, not connotated in our use of the word. The best translation of the term inzal would be transformation of revelation, information, so that it enters human consciousness to be aware of it, and of tanzil, delivery of revelation, so that it penetrates the human mind to practically do something with it. Nazzala, and anzalna implies processive of communication. A similar way as if balagha is used. A message is delivered whose actual reception by an intended addressee remain uncertain. If, however, ablagha is used, a conscious reception is implied. Pardon me. A bulletin announcement of the state treasury, for example, issued in order to explain the new tax allowances for married couples, is delivered like al-balagh in verse 99 al-Ma'idah, without the need for feedback from citizens telling the addressor that they have received and understood this announcement. If, however, a full recognition by the addressee is intended, the term iblagh, as in verse 93 of A'raf, is used as in contacting everyone. Prophets other than Muhammad had indeed been asked to do exactly this, since in their messages God's punishment was announced to everyone who did not pay heed to the prophet's words. And God, since, would not punish anyone who had not consciously become aware of his revelation. Prophets were required to disseminate God's words to literally everyone. Therefore, whenever the text mentions prophets such as Shu'aib, Saleh, or Hud, the verb ablagha, fourth form, is used. Ablagtukum, as in A'raf 79, Hud 57, and Jinn 28. And this stark contrast to a much broader mission, Muhammad who had been asked to proclaim Allah's last revelation to all humankind. In his time, surely Muhammad did not have the means to reach everyone on earth. Hence, his role was limited to proclaim God's message without the need to reach everyone acoustically, and without the need to receive confirmation that he had been heard. O Apostle, proclaim Balligh, the message which has been sent to you from your Lord. If you did not, you would not have fulfilled and proclaimed his mission, and God will defend you from me who means mischief. Ma'idah, verse 67. If we apply the above considerations to the two terms of al-Tanzil and al-INZAL, we may deduce that al-Tanzil, second form, refers to the process of communication that occurs outside the human mind. These ideas are exchanged unrecognized by the human brain. Al-INZAL, fourth form, is in contrast describes the process of recognition inside the human mind. These ideas are transformed into information that is perceived and understood. The following example from everyday life will illustrate this point. Phase 1. Al-Ja'l, creation of information signals, let's say a football match in Brazil. Phase 2. Al-Tanzil, transport waves are transporting sound and pictures from Brazil to the world. This transport occurs in the air and completely unnoticed by the human mind. Phase 3. Al-INZAL, transformation into perceivable information, the process by which the TV aerials receive the waves and transform them into sounds and pictures. The result is a form of picture and sound that is perceived by the human senses. Phase 4. Al-Idrak, perception. Viewers in China can follow the football match in Brazil through their senses. The football match enters the viewer's knowledge. This example shows that it is possible to distinguish between ways of communication that happen objectively and outside human perception, the transfer of sound and pictures via waves from Brazil to China, or that occur explicitly for the sensory perception of the human mind. The reconversion of the waves back into acoustic and visual signs for the reception of TV viewers. The term al-Tanzil is assigned to this process of objective, non-human communication, reception by human beings in uncertain, impossible, or unintended, while the term al-INZAL refers to the process of changing unperceivable signals outside the human mind to signals that can be perceived. In the case of the televised football match, al-Tanzil occurs first and al-INZAL second. If, however, a sports reporter took photographs of the match in Brazil and then sent these pictures to China to have them displayed at the National Sports Show, the process of al-INZAL, taking the pictures, would have preceded al-Tanzil, transport of pictures to China. Sometimes al-INZAL happens without accompanying al-Tanzil. An example, if the pictures had been displayed immediately in Brazil. But in all instances, al-INZAL and al-Tanzil communicate something that exists in reality. An example, the football players, the ball, the referee, the spectators, etc. And that exists before the process of communication had been initiated. Thank you for watching part 12. Part 13 of Revelation will follow.